So everyone, I thought I was looking forward to this movie, and I am going to check out other movie reviews because I told you guys already that I would be progressing on my creative channel with my circumstances not being the most ideal and still trying to like put myself in a better situation and better circumstances. I am telling you guys as someone who's actively going to therapy because I know I have ongoing queries about myself. I've been trying to improve on those situations, and I feel it's a good way for a form of expression from all things that I feel should take a course on a natural course of life. So let's go on with talking about what I was actually hearing a lot of great implications and looking forward from this movie because, well, obviously the actress is very cool, great and beautiful. I've slowly come to learn her, but what brought me more into wanting to check out her work was her likability, and her and again, it's an action of kindness of feeling that consuming her content made me feel better in a situation where I was feeling quite stressed and difficult on my own circumstances. So let's start. So poverty. So the relay of the movie starts was a woman who's on poverty. I'd be very. There was a lot of things I wasn't too sure. Right, but I'm watching this really trying to indulge into the story and the patience and the playful of the character. First, I thought it was just a poor mother, right? A really poor mother who's in a bad socioeconomic circumstances. There was nothing to overlie the underlying of the serious dramatic effect of her situation, and she didn't distress that because it's been a few years that she's been in there. The beauty is you understand certain things and unfolding as the movie progresses. Um, so um, so what I got from starting out was that she had an she I didn't know too much of her employment status. You know, she was in a poor state, teeth were falling out, house she wasn't taking care of herself, but she still managed to take care of a child that I thought she owned, not being too sure about the situation yet. So implying on the exposure of so I had a lot of discretion. Obviously, red flags came to me in my head already. Kids in the closet and a random guy, which I thought was like someone that the mother brought in for like casual encounters, right? Because a single mother, sure, why not? So I just thought it was a random guy that he picked up. She picked up, uh, and sexual stimulus arousal was there, and I didn't think it was appropriate for a child to be exposed at that age on those situations. I didn't know that he had no choice, which was um, later on developed. So I was just like, this is a bit of a awkward circumstances for the situation. I'm not. Am I the only one thinking there's something wrong with this film's setting premise? Uh, at that point of development, the focus on the scene shows related mothers to be taking care of a young child, which seems to be quite attached to her mother, even during a period of unattractive or relatable for most kids to. So actually the child actor was pretty good. Actually, very expressive. I actually thought Jack was whoever played Jack there was actually pretty good. Um, the child is very expressive and volatile in his emotions, and even in many states where I thought the mother Joy was put in states in a situation where she's kind of like, how do I say that, poorly kept, unhygienic. Again, I didn't get the idea she was captive. Kind of a slob. um, um, teeth falling out. A lot of scenes that were unattractive. Uh, Despite that, for the child, she's very attached to the child, to her maternal figure. I felt there was some disparity on some scenes because this like for me it was just like there was a lot of times I felt the mother was in lines of showing a lot of apathy in regards of her child's well-being, her birthday, even the gift. I didn't I didn't understand the dynamics of the relationship of it until much later why it was awkward. So she pays attention to her child with annoyance, probably from the stress of poverty. That's might be it, you know. A bit of apathy towards the mother's report to her child emotions, which Jack plays a quite impressive character. But Jack plays a quite impressive. Still in this role quite well, I feel a bit detached from the mother's perspective. Follow on the movie comes from the child's development. Shared ownership of the child upbringing, a man takes the role to provide for the family circumstances, asserts a difficult position as he is also reacting for her child's immediate uh, uh, asserts a difficult position as he is also blah, blah, blah. The reaction from a child is immediate, traces suddenly motherly instincts to be protective. Again, that was a very sudden feeling, emotional stress. Something happened, and I didn't get it. I thought that was an awkward movement from what I was understanding because she's sleeping with him, she's in the same bed with him. Again, I didn't know that she didn't have a choice. uh, so when the mother was pushing him away, it was really because she did not like what happened. She doesn't see the current male figure of the household as a dominant figure. It could suggest that she's submissive to him. Is he the biological father? I didn't get that at that point. And unfortunately, after this point, after watching the film, yeah, he is the biological father. Implication of education of the child. Mother is very stressed of her life circumstances reacting to her behavior. And not bad to explain her detachment of her circumstances reprise the role well here. She's living a lie, but wants to be a good mother to her kid. That's the kind of thing I wrote, implying that she's still taking her character comes to shines out. So this is a movie about characterization again. Her situation was shit, but she's reprising in roles that's something that she still took a lot of attachment. She was quite happy that she was able to have a child, even though she hates the father. She's living a life. So Jack does a good job reprising the free-spirited kid. Muz is in a role of contempt but forced in a situation. Child's taking a defensive stance, seeing her mother's primary character being stressed. Not to say mothers doesn't have a problem there too. I don't really know. I just thought I didn't know they were captive at the time. For me, I felt the annoyance could have been a pushover of of her own expectations, and that is not the case. So mother is showing signs of psychopathy, rejecting the child she gave birth, bitterness from not loving the person that she gave birth to. I think at that point I kind of make the understanding. This is where the story, where she kind of distressed the child and saying, "Look," and especially at a young age, I feel like you let your kids be as free spirited as possible for as long as gone. So at 4 or 5 says, "Look, grow up." Who says that, right? Her desire for freedom outshines her feeling of being a caretaker. She doesn't love. I was now on an imploration of whether she loves her child that much, or is she attached to it. I was wrong. She does. She put her child at risk, but in a regulated manner, in regards to giving her child the ability to be free out of the stress of her own situation. Because if the captivator, forced transgressor, did find out that she did that, he would have been pissed off, and very likely, given the nature of how he got her, he would have been even more aggressive. Not cool. There was scenes that I thought were weird. I was just I didn't get it, but she has a ring in her finger on some scenes, and was seeing how much detached and this is why I take a stance this is Stockholm syndrome. She's kind of has to force to sleep with him, and she makes do with the situation, and she tries not to overstress. She's in a state of apathy, but she knows things could be better. That's not thing. She's not well taken care of. She doesn't get to go out and socialize. And like I said, I found it funny that she still wears a ring in that situation. I would have loved to hear if there was any implication that, or I thought that. It's for me that usually is quite a symbolic thing for women. So if you didn't like this, right? So there's two implications I thought was just she wears it out of fear, or yeah, she wears it out of fear, or maybe in my head I was thinking there's an implication that she has some attachment. But given the situation, the scenario of I think that scene comes after the fact that I hear that she got pulled in was old Nick's case about being too nice to a guy that was deceiving her to trick her into a bad situation so she could he could get her. Um, it feels so fucking weird that she'd be wearing his ring. It's just like, did you start to attach to him? Because I felt like you were rejecting a lot of it, especially throughout the film. I can't say how attached she is to her well-being. It's a bit of a catch-22. She wants to be free, but at the same time, the only thing she knows is her child. She has inevitably put her child in a bad situation. I gravitate towards that because what I understood in the story is like she was got captured at it, something like very young. Maybe grooming. Sorry, in a more extreme forcing circumstances. And what's the word I can put down there? So I feel like her desire for freedom overshines her desire of where she's taking a most attachment to her role as a caretaker. Yeah, so that's why she's not afraid to use her child. But what I didn't realize is that she actually was emphasizing the kid's freedom over her well-being. And that's it. That's selfless. That's characterization. That's 100% props to say Joy is an impressive woman. Definitely there are fear from the oppressor and divided opinions of the men. I don't want to get attached to him because he raped and captivated a girl, so I will discard the feelings on his on this. Scorn as a place. She really cares. She really cares for a child. Seems of thoughts placed on her reaction as being led into her difficult circumstances is related to her wanting to play with the dog. Yeah. Scorn feelings. Sorry, that comes after. This is a bit messy. She really cares for a child. Jack is a unisex name. I didn't realize that. Someone called her a girl, and the impression I got was just like the hair is long, so that impression could be fair. Or she overly aggressive. Stage out of the movie of how trying to find a room. So after Jack was free, that's the point where it wasn't super elaborated, and I guess that was not the focus of the movie. But for me, obviously, my thought process is like, that's not information for someone to locate. They rushed that because that wasn't the emphasis. The emphasis is the maternal bond of the movie. And later on, I picked up the body language on the actress part. So like, there was part I thought were weird, but then as I kept watching, I was like, oh no, that makes sense. And I now appreciate how much I feel like she probably invested in terms of like being in that mental state in a believable situation. Pretty cool. I can see why she won awards in relation to maybe that movie, from what I've heard. The decision and risk of the mother to take for her child really gives a good sense of a motherhood sense of motherhood. Focus of the movie seems to be targeted focus on key aspects of difficult relations and banishment of stress between the mother and child. It's bittersweet. Not all of the depiction of how the mother tries to care and take care of a paternal right, but how Jack was conceived. Blah 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 blah. Strong sense of her wanting her child acknowledgement. Ambiguous feelings and fear of the humility may be present in her mother. Before she was so this wasn't a scene coming across where as she was feeling in a very vulnerable state, she's got out, Jack got the police and the police found it, and it was a great reassuring place. They found her, she was okay, and like they moved on from like the aspects of like captivity or again, the villain in this movie, not the emphasis. And it's actually a very beautiful film to see. I say this is a movie about resilience as well, for someone that went for something very difficult. Yeah, definitely. She was adopted and she was seen like a social active girl. So you see pictures of her and like the mother's there, and then she's taking scorn. I see she gets a bit defensive on her state, but like you gotta take things on her perspective, and like she's defensive because she's taking care of her child, and it's a good reflection of like herself, and people are reserved about accepting it, yeah, especially her family, direct family's fine, and it was a great scene, but they have a hard time accepting Jack. That's the biggest disambiguity of the film. And before she was abducted, she was seen like a very social, active girl. Much resentment and bitterness from her circumstance occurred. Limited as the current situation was likely that he didn't know what to do, but emotional expression from her situation. Okay. The emotional volatility of the film is what I feel was so interesting to watch. To minor changes in her body language, using the expression of scene and was a TV, and a sign of a bad experience of the room. Her rejection of her child not being able to express and see that this is better is bitterness in her emotions of Stockholm Syndrome for her current situation. A patronizing stance. Implication of labor done at home, making her circumstances very difficult. Yeah, so like she would have delivered at a captive place. No way she had access to a hospital given the situation of like how she got pregnant, right? So that's not too elaborate too as well. But like this woman definitely went through a hard time. Figuratively talking, he didn't want his son to get attached to what she developed in character. And yeah, there are home laborers, but yeah, back in the old days that was the case. But like I think there's still a midwife or a doctor that comes to visit usually. So obviously, he'd have to do that himself, right? Yeah, sorry. This is not the emphasis and focus of them. You guys are overthinking. Implication done at home, making her circumstances difficult. Figuratively talking, he didn't want his son to get attached to what she developed and cherished. Alright, I heard that Brina. Oh yeah, I heard. Sorry, I wanted to put that joke in. I heard the actress was having a lot of problems with lighting issues, and that really shined through the movie. And I was like, alright, she's done a good job getting through that. I think in this movie as well. I was like, oh no, that was definitely the case. That was what she meant. And it's a bit of a philosophical drama there. Ending scene made ponder. All right, if you're feeling happy, what did? Oh yeah. Sorry. Here's another snippet joke. Near the end of the scene, I see her observing the room and looking at the skylight, but obviously in a better place. And then it's a bit of a summer drama there, and end scene made me ponder. All right, if you're feeling happy, what's the difference? All right, you can stay in the muck. No. That could have been phrased better. I missed the effect of the joke there. Okay. Hands for the child to separate attention to where he captive in the mystery movement for the character was satisfying. And finally, I normally kind of did try to structure these things when I was doing reviews. Some lines that I thought were always great. So my best line for this movie was, "Bye bye room. I hope you felt the same." And look forward to seeing the Marvels. I'm gonna give it a nice detailed review as well with some research. Give you guys perspective to all you haters, and you guys can fuck off. I'm loving the implication of emotional turmoil that I've been reading and trying to snip it as the character's projection. The body language on certain things perfectly projected. The irritation on talking about getting a dog because that was the causation of her circumstances, and I can see the expression on her child wanting to see the immediate effects of like getting out of that situation, which we would have called out to say she was in the circumstances. She wants to reject the implication that things were okay because of Stockholm, like the implication of Stockholm syndrome, right? Like because like he was giving him he kept her in captivity, forced a child onto her, and the implication of like cutting quarters, and the implication because he wasn't a strong person, and I couldn't comment. I don't want to sympathize his case and I don't want to get attached to him or analyze it simply because I hate the way he did it. No, I hate the way he I'm not taking his emotional stance side from the film because he he abducted a girl and then essentially raped her, and even though he's showing paternal implication of wanting to bond, the way he did this immediately makes me reject this because this is wrong. This is low behavior. So the stance of me was thinking is just like that guy obviously has problems, but like I'm taking the whole complexity to say, look, I can't. I'm not really gonna get invested in his character, and the focus of the movie isn't pushed that way. I'm glad it doesn't outline this. In particular, it is towards the difficulty and the mental process of someone that's gone through abuse. Not bad. At a first stance, when the movie was developing, I was thinking there's some weird stuff about it, and it's like, I feel like the mother's too attached, and it becomes so obvious as the story progresses. And there are some things I think, and then as it comes later on, I see the scenes act out, and I'm like, yes, all right. But I feel like, is this the reason for it? And as a development scene and the progression of their behavior, I'm like, it is indeed. So it gives me great insight of being able to like understand emotional volatility on the person's perspective, which was fun to pick out from this movie.
Hey everyone, thank you for putting the effort to watch the effort I placed on making something of an entertaining video. I hope you enjoyed it. As I said before, it's not forced, but like I really would appreciate any contribution and support you give to this channel, as it gives me more motivation and more incentive to enjoy more video creating and content creation. If you find that the content's drifts away at any point, you can always unsubscribe. It's no big deal. Again, it doesn't mean much. It doesn't take much from you, but it means a whole bunch of me. And it would feel great if you would just reward my efforts of trying to be positive and contributionary. Thank you so much. Bye.